The summer of Nike golf is complete. Yes, I'm counting JJ Spawn. He used to be a Nike athlete. Let's do this! Bam! Oh my god! Welcome back to the Swoosh Life podcast. Scottie Scheffler is your 2025 Open champion golfer of the year. And we are back with episode 82. Boys, how are we doing?
Doing great. Another win. Another win for Nike this year in a major. Gumby, you said it the best. Summer of Nike once again. JJ Spawn used to wear the or hit the clubs all the time and wore the apparel all the time. But Scottie Scheffler, what a way to end out the year. I was coming back from, of course, I can't keep track anymore, my 50th something Shinedown show out in Boston this past Sunday. And I was driving back, and guess what? I had the phone on the whole time watching Scotty. It was great. And like there was no hiccup, maybe one hiccup. I think hole 11 kind of got him
Yeah, that
every
he had a
day or
double. He had a
something.
double, I
Yeah,
think.
8.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it was. And then he was smooth sailing on the back. So other than that, I was off for the past 2 weeks. I was playing catch up so far this week so far. Uh, got to play a little golf on vacation, caught up with Gumby. It was good to get out. We went to a very nice, our stopping grounds at Turning Stone at a Dunio Golf Club. Tip top shape. It was great to get out. We needed it. Matt, like always, I wish you could always come and join us. But Pedro, happy birthday. We're recording on a Tuesday night. Your birthday. What
Yes.
a birthday gift. You get to spend it with us tonight. How you been? What have you been up to? I know you've been golfing a little bit.
I had my annual buddies trip. You're 21, so it's now it's legal to drink for our buddies tournament. So I had another good tournament. I just remembered we were talking in the pre-show fist fight about like we had two non-golf topics that we want to cover tonight. We want to cover Grant Horvat, but I also want to cover like local rules that you and your buddies might play by that are not like the official rules of golf. I'd love for us to cover that a little bit tonight. I want to talk about what after with all the majors done, what's our favorite golf shoes of the year now? Because I did get to
Whew.
play a lot in the Scottie shoe, the Rory
Yeah.
shoe, the Brooks shoe this year. Man, Nike it just continues with the footwear is amazing to me. And the funny thing to me, I think it's hilarious, is that everybody's making Scotty's lack of personality or lack of commitment based on his comments on Wednesday, the story, while saying that Scotty also cannot carry golf because he's not a story. Yet they got two really good stories out of the guy. He smashes everybody. He's walking away the last three
Yeah.
holes, kind of like he did at the PGA. And then on top of that, says some pretty cool and insightful stuff on Wednesday, clarifies it on Sunday. Dude, I can't wait to get into it with you guys. So, like, what should we attack first, Gumby? What are you
I think
feeling?
we
There's a
just go
lot
right
on the
into.
table.
I think we go right into the champion golfer of the year. I think let's talk about Scotty. I also wanted to address this because there's been speculations from friends of the program and from national media, like saying that like whether he's a good marriage for the brand or for golf and all this, and it drives me wild because like I think like we are spoiled in this day and age of access to athletes, which is phenomenal for the user, for the person that is in. And we'll get into the Grant Horvat thing. That's like a whole, part of this, right? Like of like access to things and what we want to see and what we want to look at. So, and I heard on like national radio, like I listened on Sportsman like in the morning on ESPN, and they were just talking about how he doesn't have the personality to carry golf, and I just believe that's wrong. I think that I saw something from I think it was Kevin Van Valkenburg from No Laying Up. Actually, I'm not sure he's with No Laying Up anymore, but he said that like I don't want to be defined by my job like the job that I do at my work. I want to be defined by the person that I am, and I think that's all Scotty was trying to say in his presser is that like golf, like winning doesn't like fulfill me, but like it's my job. It's not like who I am. Who I am is the father and the dad and that's the same thing, but the person, husband that I am, and so I just think that's really cool, and and also what a kick in the like to have your peer say winning doesn't matter that much and then go kick your teeth in by 4 strokes to the field. That's the Terminator. That's what Tiger did, right? That's like he said, too bad, so sad, I'm better. Like, I'm not sure that Tiger is the same thing, obviously. I saw your face, Matt, and I get that. I'm not comparing him to Tiger yet, but to me, he's the silent assassin right now. And I just want to point out there too, he does have a personality. It's pretty funny. It's pretty wry. If you saw any of the behind the scenes that the RNA did through the Open on YouTube, you can watch him after the him winning, and there are some ridiculously cool little tidbits of him like holding the trophy, showing off the trophy to the Golf Channel set, like that 2020 said to the global pandemic there is no champion, and so there's other things in there, him joking around with people, like him waving bye to everybody, to the cameras following him as him and Meredith head off to the Happy Gilmore premiere last night. I just think there's more than I think he lets on, and I think that we're gonna see him grow in the way that he wants to grow, not being forced into anything, which I think is commendable.
Yeah, that
Really,
is
really long winded.
no. You,
It was great.
I got nothing. No, I'm just kidding. I got a couple comments. I agree with you for the most part, Gumby, on that. But Scottie's a different creature than what we're used to with the dominance of Tiger Woods and everything like that. He definitely takes
Yeah.
it a different way, a religious way, if you want to say that. He's very, faithful and everything, which is great in every which way. Um, I just want to go back to like his reaction on 18, walking up and then making the final putt. Were you guys, quick little question here, were you guys waiting for him to like celebrate, or did you think he was just going to stay calm the whole time? And then all of a sudden we just see the hat go flying up. And what a picture some of the photographers had of the hat perfectly flipping with the swoosh pointing, at the camera with Scotty as well. What'd you guys think? Did you guys think he was going to end up celebrating like that, or do you think he was just going to hold it all in like he usually does? Matt, I'll bring it over to you because Gumby
PG,
nailed everything on the head.
yeah, the PGA one felt a little delayed, and he was like, he's in this mode. He gets in this zone, and it does remind me. And Tiger, I didn't roll my eyes at the Tiger comparison because
No,
there's some good ones, but there
yeah.
is like this like quietness about him. Like he did say that he was having conversations with Hao Tong, but there's also times where you're watching the broadcast and you're like, yeah, he's stone cold silent. Like, and these guys are just like, what am I supposed to do? And by the way, like the people that find it boring, we'll get back to it. Yeah, sorry, Keith, but basically all I'm going to say is, yeah, I was expecting maybe a little bit of a delayed reaction or something because it's kind of getting old hat for him, right? And to your point, Gumby, I think Barstool Big Cat nailed it. He's like in the same 134 starts. Tiger has double the majors, 8. He has double the victories. So performance wise, it's hard to compare, but it is the closest thing we've seen since Brooks went on his run. It's the closest thing we've seen since Rory went on his run,
The
because
numbers
those are
are
the two gaps, and they've all been Nike athletes, which is awesome.
Oh
We've
the
yeah.
had like the
numbers
little
are
Jordan Spieth limp.
eerily
Yeah.
similar of Rory's, like 111 to 100, like 10, like first start, like they're like right there with when you got the first major, second major, third major, all of it falls in line. So it's just the fifth major, Rory obviously struggled with for a while. I think the number of like 1,100 days since first Masters to four, like third,
Fourth
whatever it
win. Yeah,
was,
fourth
yeah,
win.
fourth
Yeah.
win, like being the exact same as Tigers is
That's just
crazy. Just like how that like lines up. Um, but as for the reaction, it's I think it is in character with him to be locked in until he sees his family. He looks for Mayor, he looks for Bennett, and then he lets loose, and that was like what it was. It's like he's scanning, he does his hug with, he shakes Han Lee's hand, does his hug with Teddy, and then he's like looking around, he gets to the crowd, he sees Meredith, and then it erupts.
yeah. Yeah, oh
Like,
yeah.
and I think that is like that's the coolest part, because that is what he just said. Like that's what he said in his Wednesday presser, it's what he said in Sunday. It's like it's about who he is as a person outside of it. That's what he feels makes him whole. And so then he gets to celebrate with his people, and that's when it comes out. So I think that's the coolest part because he's not going to change, right? Like, and I think you could see him in some commercials. I really do. I think he's got that like sense of humor that he would be. I really want to see him in a Chipotle commercial. He talks about Chipotle
Yeah.
all the time, and I think that'd be great. Like, and I can see it happening, but like again, the last time I can remember a golfer in a mainstream commercial other than standing in the Hall of Fame Omega commercial for Rory is literally maybe like a Jordan Spieth. I think he was in a Coke or AT&T
AT&T.
commercial. And that's like I think he was in a Coke one too, but like that's it. Like I mean Ricky maybe was in one too, but like I don't know. Even Tigers had like was in a Dick's Sporting Goods one a couple years ago, but like he hasn't been in a mainstream one forever. So it's just they're talking about things like that stuff that you need him in that. And I'm like, but you don't get golfers in the mainstream a whole lot, anyways. So I don't know. It's just it's been awesome to see. He got two this year. I think it was cool to see him not win or win two different ones other than a Masters, right? Because then it would have been like, can he not only win the Masters, but
Yeah.
obviously not. Man, I'm intrigued to see what happens in at Bethpage this year too, because we got some Nike boys coming up that leaderboard too. Like Gotterup won the Scottish,
I
and
know.
he played really well. Links golf. I wish. I wish maybe we were going over there. I don't wish we were going over there, but you know what I mean. Like he would be our secret weapon. He might be the links golfer guy to have for when we play in Europe. So, um, but I think it's been a great year for the swoosh, and some. Let's give our props to Nike marketing too, through the golf side and through others, um, just nailing it on win assets this year. Just absolutely like crushing it on the win assets, right? Like,
I want to let Keith finish his Scottie thing though, and then I
sorry,
want to go back to my thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I was just gonna keep saying about his reaction and stuff. And to go back to his comments on Wednesday and pulling it off on Sunday, it's something I think the world of golf needs. I think we need a dominant player. I think golf's in a better place when we have somebody winning these majors. Listen, we all look forward to four majors each year, followed by the Players, Ryder Cup, or President's Club Cup each year. So to have a dominant player wearing the swoosh right now, you can't go wrong with this year and how this year's played off throughout the whole year. But no, all in all, Scotty, the guy can't be beaten right now. He says the right things at the right time and pulls it off as well. So you can't go wrong. Matt, do you have anything to add on the
Tons.
Scotty?
I got tons.
Perfect.
First thing I want to say is like the amazing thing that people miss about Scottie's story is that this is a guy who was a child prodigy like Rory and like Tiger. He goes to college, starts having the back problems. That's when he kind of disappears off the map. He stays on Nike's map, but he turns pro, but he's not expected to like dominate the world the way Rory did coming pro and the way that Tiger did because he started having these back issues. And then so he gets the physical right. He fixes the back issue, whether it's the Golf Forever program or whatever it was, he gets healthy. Second, he fixes his temperament. He's talked about it. He was a hothead. Ted Scott didn't want to be his caddy because he was a hothead. Ted Scott comes in. Now you've got the coaching. So you've got the mental, you've got the coaching, you've got the physical, and it all comes together. And now we're seeing it as a late bloomer. And everybody's like, oh, he kind of came out of nowhere. No, this guy won like every junior thing possible in all of Texas, which is a golf hotbed. So let's not act like he wasn't a child prodigy and he's now fulfilling that promise. So that's why I think the Tiger comparisons are sometimes fair because we haven't seen the stuff. I talked about him being like this silent guy, and he's kind of intimidating people because when he's got a lead, he's not letting it up like Tiger
yeah,
until Y.E. Yang showed up, right?
10
And
straight
then, yep,
now, but he's got a long way to go to
exactly.
catch Tiger. But like 10 straight is 54 hole leads converted is a lot, you know.
But
Yeah,
this is the cool thing. We are on our way to watching it, everybody. We
right.
are watching it. We are on the ascent. This is what people miss about this. Tiger You could play the putt from Torrey Pines U.S. Open. You could play the chip in from the Masters. You could play the throttling, the thrashing from Pebble Beach in the Masters. That's 4 memorable out of 14. The other 10 were ho hum, kicked everybody's teeth in. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing the kick people's teeth in ones. There's no
Right.
magic moments because he's totally dominating. And if you're a golfer, you watch him sling fades the whole back nine, right? There were no lefts anymore. He's just
No.
slinging fades 500, 200 yards into a green, 10 yards away. We as golfers, we're like, yes. But because he's not like ever in trouble or doesn't chip in or doesn't like do a crazy fist pump when he's up, what's he supposed to do? Fist pump when he's up six on somebody?
Right.
Like, come on. And then that brings me to my last point on it is that the comments. It felt like there was a part of people that were saying, well, is he dedicated? Is golf really his passion? Can we cut the crap? God, I
Yeah,
wanted to swear right there. Can we cut the crap?
you could.
All due respect to Tiger Woods, this is some narrative. Like, people were sold that Tiger Woods is a golf robot that eats, sleeps golf. He's up at 4 a.m. And we've talked to Barry, and he said that the workouts are true and the legends are true. But we all know Tiger was not all golf 24/7. It's just that they have totally different lives off the course, and that's okay. And I think that's always been the problem, and this is where, like, I disagree with Jordan Rogers where he's like, hey, it's a bad fit for the brand.
Yeah,
Why? Because the brand sells you football players, tennis players, basketball players, guys and gals in their 20s. They are either single or just getting married. They are at the top of their physical shape. They are there to compete, and they sell you this I'm a robot thing, acting like these folks never have lives off the court or off the
Yeah.
pitch, right? And then golf has always been weird because you guys got guys that bloom and blossom in their late 20s, in their 30s, that are married, might talk about their faith, might have more conservative values, right? Potentially. And that's okay, because guess what? This guy's able to compartmentalize. Tiger was able to compartmentalize. Tiger was going to Vegas, having parties, and then kicking everybody's teeth in on Saturday, Sunday. We just didn't know it because social media wasn't around.
right.
This
Bingo.
guy's smiling, going to a Chipotle where nobody knows his name, and then kicking everybody's teeth in by 7. It's it's still cool, everybody. I
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I agree, and
I
I
agree.
want to build off that because that's literally like what I saw Jordan's thing, and I respect Jordan, but he brought up like the Nike just got off the thing where like if you can't win, then win. And I was like, yeah, well, and he just because he says that he doesn't like feel fulfilled in winning doesn't mean that he's not a competitor, right? He also wants to win at everything he does. Just because it doesn't like I feel like that's the people get mistaken like fulfilling life of like I feel like I can talk about this in a sense of like I used to be the biggest fan at Syracuse University, right? Like I was the big man on campus. Everybody knew me. I could go around everywhere. I could walk into a Chipotle and people would know who I am. People came up to me in restaurants. And I always related it in the weirdest freaking way possible to why I know that like celebrities that were popular and not popular anymore got into drugs because you felt like you still needed that like high, right? Like you still needed that like dopamine dump of people knowing you, people seeing you, and all that stuff. I didn't get into drugs. I got into golf. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where like I think that is what like he is saying is that I don't need the dopamine hit of a win to carry me through. I get the dopamine hit from my family, from my son, like from my wife. But I want to keep competing. I want to keep winning. I
Hmm.
like to do that. You know what I mean? And so I think that is like where it comes about. Yeah.
Do you ever? This is a thing that popped into my mind when he made that comment, and Keith, I'd love you to lead off this answer for me. Is when he's like, I can't go to the Chipotle near SMU. I got to go to this other Chipotle. It reminds me of when like Eminem started talking about how much he loathed fame because like the lack of privacy. So I don't know if the comments like are born out of, hey, yeah, I'm a golfer. Please leave me alone when you see me in the streets because like I want to have a nice fulfilling life with my family and my son.
Yeah.
Like because I'll tell you something that happened to me recently, and very similar to you, Gumby. So I went down to Louisville. For those of you that don't know, I used to write whiskey reviews. I stopped last year, and I went and did a pick. So a pick is where like you go to the distillery and you actually taste all the different barrels. You taste samples, and at the pick was a very famous YouTuber. He's probably on the number one or number two bourbon YouTube channel. He's a master blender for one of the most like popular up and coming brands in the game, like a guy that's got game. And he posted a picture of me that he took, and he said "goat." I, I don't like. I've never interacted with him in the past. And then I go, "Hey, I don't know if you meant the distillery or the people we were picking with, but thank you for the compliment." He goes, "No, I meant you, dude." And it's like, you get that dopamine hit, and you're like, "Wow," you feel a sense of accomplishment. But on the other hand, I did like going to the pizza place next door and not having people like asking me for a selfie every 5 minutes, right? So
Yeah.
like it's that balance. Do you guys think that Scotty was trying to just also be like, hey, can you all chill with like, can you all leave me alone because I'm losing my privacy a little bit?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that, Matt, as well. I just feel he's just in that calm body state of mind, though, too, Scotty is. If he goes someplace, you don't see him saying no too much, do you?
Oh, that's
Or
true.
do, or we
He's
just, we,
collabing with everybody now. He's collabing with Jimmy Fallon. Like
I
everybody
was just,
is Happy
I was,
Gilmore.
I was just gonna say that last night. He was on Jimmy Fallon. He just flew back from, Northern Ireland with the clear jug, and next thing you know, Fallon's putting up. If you guys watch or rewatch or anything like that,
It's so good.
Fallon, it was funny. It was funny as hell. He shows us a picture of Scotty, and it's just with the, winning the Open, and it was just a picture of Scotty. And Jimmy's like, show us a picture of Scotty with the clear jug again, and it was just a clear jug. And then the curtains open behind him.
Yeah.
And I'll leave everybody else to the rest if you want to go watch what happens. It was good. It was typical. How many words does Scotty say? Zero? Nothing. He didn't have to. He's just the dominant person.
Did you
And
see the to piggyback on that? Did you see the skit that Sandler and Fallon did with Scotty at all?
missed
That
No.
that.
was on.
I
They
went to
posted it
bed.
on Instagram, and so it's Sandler, like, because Sandler was on also promoting
Right.
Happy Gilmore too, and it's like Sandler like waving and like like in his Sandler wave like hey like and just waving at him, and then Fallon's like hey, and they keep going back and forth, and then Sandler's like no, you, and behind Fallon is just Scotty, like just
Oh
sitting
man,
there. I was like, it's so
that's great.
perfect. He's like, I
I'll have
wasn't
to
waving at
watch
you, I
it.
was waving at him. And you just see Scotty going, hi. So it's just this is the like that Scotty's just like he's also kind of that like little kid inside too, where like he's like when he got into the van, leaving the RNA, he said goodbye to Ted Scott there at the facility because they were hopping straight on a plane after he won to get to the premiere. So he's like, and you hear Ted Scott going like, "Text me, I want to know how the movie is," all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, he starts taking off, like he's literally just got into the van, he's taking off his shoes, and he goes, "Bye, see ya," like just like that, like as the door is closing and they're coming out, and I'm like, like I don't know, but like you say he's got no
Yes, he's
personality, but
human.
like
He's still human.
Tiger wouldn't have been like that. He wouldn't be joking around like that after a win. He's just on to the next one. Like I don't know.
There's your
I
difference
think
between the
Tiger
two
is
right
like
there.
that now. I think we hit that barrier of Tiger where like he stopped being the Terminator, he started being personable. I remember like I think the first time that I can remember Tiger kind of breaking down and being a person was when he was dating Lindsay. They were at the President's Cup, and Lindsay put the squirrel on his shoulder. Do you remember
Yeah.
that, Chippy? Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
mascot? And I was literally like, that's like the first time that I really remember Tiger being like, oh, he's a dude. Like he's not just like a robot, right? Like kind of thing. So it's one of those things where like, oh, like now you see more personality at him. Like you don't get to see him anymore, but you did like a little bit of like things. He's more willing to do like YouTube videos with with like Barstool and Grant and stuff like that. But it's just it's different. But Scotty just did a video with Grant too. So
Yeah.
speaking of
Speaking of,
Grant, let's get into this thing. And again, congratulations, Scotty, on your win. Great year this year. So, and like I said also earlier, Nike great win assets this year. Just absolutely knocked them out of the park. But on to Grant. If you
Nike
guys
Golf
don't
is back.
know the number, yes, they are. Number one YouTube golfer in the world, Grant Horvat, was provided a sponsorship exemption to the Barracuda. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
PGA thing event. He actually talked about it with Scottie Scheffler on his YouTube channel about if he should accept the invite. He was kind of having imposter syndrome with it. Scottie said, like, you have been afforded that thing. You shouldn't feel guilty about taking that opportunity. All of this stuff. Grant ended up saying no to the PGA Tour because the PGA Tour and their media rights would not allow Grant's own film team to film their the rounds and then post on their YouTube. So they're pretty much in the ways that it's kind of unfolded is that you know, yes, Grant could have just played and not shot it, but he gets nothing out of it. Where the PGA Tour sort of gets a lot out of it because he is a big name in the YouTube space and then they can promote him. So, your guys' thoughts, Matt, I know you wanted to bring this up, on
Yeah, well,
the situation at hand and what you want to talk about.
and I'm sorry to jump in, Keith, but Keith
No,
Gumby
go ahead.
kind of led me into it. Does the PGA really get anything out of it if they don't let him film? I think that's the dumb thing. I think that's the dumber move. Like, you invited the guy for his YouTube reach, and then you don't let him record a YouTube series.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What
you
was the
can't just say
point?
that he's going to be like just because he's a personality. Like in that mind, then just go get like Steele, like Roger, or like I don't know. You didn't mean someone
Well,
like
but that's my thing. Is like, do you really think like people that watch YouTube are going to tune into the Barracuda to catch a glimpse of Grant, who may or may not be in contention, right? Because the way that you guys present TV, we never know who we're going to get to see. We can't follow our favorite players. No, people are going to go to Grant's YouTube channel to see what a PGA Tour event is like. That's more likely to happen, in my opinion. And that's where I think like just both sides should have came to a compromise. They should have figured something out. And my
Right.
brother, shout out to my brother Danny, because he did say Grant has said in the past that competitive golf turned him off. Like it was too competitive. Like it killed his love for the game. He does like just making YouTube videos. So I think there's a little bit there, more so than the
On his
imposter thing.
side, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe he's got a little anxiety, and I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody that has anxiety or performance anxiety because if you show up and you have a bad day, right? Like it's one round, you never know. However, the
Yeah.
PGA should have acquiesced. The PGA should have said, "Well, we'll let you film here, here, and here. Create a shoot schedule." Like that's my thing. Is there's no compromise. People are hard headed, and I feel like the PGA should have acquiesced a little bit. Keith.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. I feel like the PJ takes a step forward and then something like this, and then they take two steps back. I'm like, well, aren't we trying to grow the game or get more people, more views, more eyes on the game? He's a great player. People are going to tune in. How many followers does he have on YouTube? How many people watch his videos?
you know 1.3
That's more eyes on the
million.
PGA. And I just feel like PGA, like I said, takes a step forward and then falls back to old school ways when it comes to the days of golf now and where golf is trending. Look at us. We're on here doing content. We're on YouTube. People watch us. People like watching us. They like seeing this stuff. It's what golf is trending towards now. And the PGA gets there and then they come back. So that's my
And
opinion on it.
I think it's interesting because I think you see like the live golfers have embraced it. They created the duels for content creators to be a part of the event, so to say, and he is a very big part of that. He is a very big part of with Phil Mickelson having a thing, and so it's very interesting to see like how he kind of bounces back and forth between them. Like he will do something with Scotty and Tommy, and then he'll do something with Phil, and he's kind of the bridge between golf right now, which is quite interesting and crazy, um, and I don't know if that's like a if it's almost like a petty thing that like he's doing the duels, so then like they, you know, don't like want him. I can't imagine that, but
Yeah,
they
Adam.
have said
Yeah, and
they've done
that
that
was
with
wrong too.
the George Bryant thing, where they said he played in the duels, so he can't play in a tour event. So
I mean, that's the tough thing. That's not a good look for the PGA. Like, just pure honesty, right? Like, these guys are independent contractors, and then you invite somebody else that has a private enterprise, and then you're shocked that they go and a competitor also offers them a spot. Like, you didn't sign a no compete clause. Like, you didn't put that in. You didn't pay them enough to buy out their rights for a year. Yet you want the independent contractors to give up their name and likeness
Right.
in perpetuity. I mean, it's a new era. Like, I think they need to evolve. I really do. And that's why I understand people's frustrations with the tour sometimes. I really do.
yeah, no, and I'm intrigued to see what I think the new CEO does with the PGA Tour. He's coming from the NFL, where they also have very strict media rights. Like, let's face it, like
That's
pro
true.
pro sports does, but they've also grown their brand to the bigot. Like you know, they
Yeah.
very much the NFL very much took advantage of the MLB strike, like in the '90s, and it was like, we're the new big bad in town, and now
Right.
you can't stop the NFL. Now it's 24/7. Even I literally got to like July 4th and after, and then my brain was on like, okay, fantasy football time. Here we go. And training camps kick off this week and all that stuff. So, I think he's making the right move for himself. I think people are going to be like, wow, I wanted my own, like, I would have gotten anything to play on the PGA Tour. Yeah, but you didn't work as hard as him to build his reputation, his following, like, up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we'd give it our all, but we'd also shoot 1,000. So, don't need to do that either. Uh, I know I would shoot 1,000 right now because I cannot swing a golf club to save my life. That is, Keith saw it. I took a full swing 8 iron and shanked it, and then I was like, I'm done taking
I
irons.
was trying
How many,
to. That
how
was on
many
the.
drivers off the deck did I hit, Keith?
Oh,
Three,
the
three or
one I
four.
should have ran up. Oh, you hit four off the deck, but the one I should have ran up behind, of course, was the first one. I'm like, Gumby, you're hitting driver off the deck, and I'm like, I'm just watching it, and he hit a beauty, and then he
Yeah,
hit a couple other beauties after that too.
yeah. I
But
literally had to because I don't have anything. Like, I wasn't long enough. Well, nothing was going anywhere. And if I hit like a 3 wood, it would have come up with like I would have had like a 8 or 9 iron in, and I couldn't hit it, so I had it hit driver to get a little bit closer, so I could hit like a wedge.
yeah, but your wedge and putting never fades away. But you
That's
know,
awesome.
I
yep,
do want to say we filmed 18. We said we were going to film 18. We did that,
we
and
did it. No matter
please
what, we're like,
excuse
let's do it.
our real ability. We're not Matt here, but we tried our hardest and did the voiceover and
Yeah,
Good.
everything.
Matt, it was funny. It was an hour process after plus.
But on 17, Keith makes a freaking long ass birdie, like across the green birdie, and then
You hit
I
a good
backed it up
bunker
with
shot.
an across the
Unbelievable.
green par, and I was like, "What the fuck just
Why didn't
happened?"
we
Like,
film this one?
yeah, literally, like I think 60 to 80 footers for both of us, and we're like back to back. So, man, let's
Golf.
hey, let's rank the open pack. How about that? Let's
I
bring
like it.
those up and talk about the open pack, because they were some really cool shoes. They did not get their due from I like Nike, from anyone else. Like, I don't
Players
think
didn't really wear
Our
the
them yet.
yeah,
players.
our
Yeah,
athletes. Yep.
let's let's show us, and then
I got a
let's
great
kind of
Nike story while you pulled
see,
it
kind
up.
of like, yeah.
Oh, well, you've pulled it up. So we're looking at the Air Max 90. Just remind me to tell you the Nike story, Nike Club story in a little bit.
Okay, so right now we got the Air Max 90 with the little. Now the story behind this was that the Kings in Matt, take the
Scotland.
story away from me, because you know it a lot better than I I do. I don't
Yeah,
want to
no.
stumble over you.
So one of the kings in Scotland, even though the Open was in Northern Ireland, they banned golf because, for self-defense reasons, they wanted people to focus on archery and not games of leisure. So very reminiscent. You see like this white kind of paisley upholstery pattern throughout the different shoes, which just, here's the king and queen sitting up on their upholstered chairs while the peasants can't even throw a niblick around or whatever they called it, right? So we've got what they did release eventually was the Air Max 90, the Victory Tour 4, and the Infinity Tour. There was no Scottie shoe to be seen. They did release the week of the Open. I believe Dick's got two of these. Nike.com got one of these or two of these. It was very mixed. Um, I will say this for the people that we talk to at Nike, and for those of you listening, the people that are now running Nike marketing, and I feel myself like I get defensive a little bit about it because now we have this relationship with Nike, but I have to put myself in the fan shoes. Like they don't know. Just remember, Elliot Hill took over as CEO back last September, so like this time last year, right? He comes in and they were trying to go athleisure everything. They're like, that's why you see the 24/7 come out. It's not a golf line, it's a whole line for everything. Because they're like, you know what? We're going to be like Athletica, we're going to be like Fabletics, we're going to be like Lululemon. People will just buy the pants and eventually they'll find their way to golf, right? Well, no. Elliot Hill comes in. He's like, no, sport first. So you guys hear from Nike a lot, sport first. So the new people that are in charge are painfully aware, everybody, painfully aware of the mistake that was made by not having Scotty's shoe available for these majors.
Yeah.
So much so that I'm willing to bet we will see Scotty's shoe in all four majors next year. How do you guys?
Oh,
Well, I think that
100%
we,
agree.
yeah, I think we could even leverage, like they could leverage it now, knowing that it's July, about 6 to 8 months, we could see a holiday release of. I said to Keith, I was
A
like,
Christmas pack.
what if they did a major pack? Like we won three majors this year, right? Release the three shoes that they won in, like as a full set, or release all the Scotties, or release all, like see everything out there. So I like the Scotties, I like the Pro Fours of this, that had this, the subtle of that like royal print that I'll call it, like on the collar, on the shoe collar, the strike through golf. We got some really great artwork from a follower that was like, he like live traced it and did like the really cool things, and so wanted to say thank you to him. I think it was Kinescope Steel's Home. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that all right, but he did some awesome work with some of that stuff, and you can look at it on my screen right here. The swoosh was knocked out, the golf. So I appreciate you for that, because that was pretty cool to see. That print, and I wish they would have used it a little bit more on these. So we saw the new, I would call this like the 5 version of the tour, right? Like this is the we'll call it the JT model, for lack of a better term, right? Like this is pretty much the same as the sole silhouette for that JT had come out, but this is just that version. Now,
Yeah,
do
you
we
have that
think?
extra layer that goes
Yeah,
around the toe
Yeah.
guard, wraps around the
yeah,
midfoot.
Yep.
Very similar to what they do with the Vomero Rome. There was a Vomero five re-release this year, and then they did a Vomero Rome version, which kind of did this wraparound thing to it. We speculated that the reason Rory didn't wear it, maybe Rory doesn't like the extra line that it creates on the toe. Because I was just looking at the Victory Tour 3 and the 2. Um, they're all clean toes. Like you don't
Right.
usually see a line, so maybe Rory just didn't wear it because he didn't want the toe or anything like that. I think we did see the Scotty shoe in this being worn by Tommy Fleetwood for a round or two.
yes, yep.
Correct. Yep.
Um, but either
And I
way,
don't think, and we didn't see Brooks wearing
no.
this. And
Yeah,
again,
the
there's
Infinity
that
Tour.
extra liner on the toe though that is different compared to the normal. So that, I mean, I, I can't imagine that's exactly it. I just don't. I don't know. You know what I
I'm
mean?
happy to
So
see. I'm happy to see that the Victory Tour 4 didn't come out with like a much higher price point because of this. I think so. If I'm ranking, I'm going Victory Tour 4, number one. I think it's very classic, very premium, something I would wear to a country club. Feel super comfortable. They look classy AF. Um, and then
They
I would
have
go Air
that
Max 90, and then I would go Infinity.
Infinity. You know what they have is that like Buscemi style FootJoy kind of look a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
like Buscemi's kind of done that like wrap around on the toe like a little bit more, or the gold and all that stuff. So it's kind of like, I think it's like Nike's version of that with their silhouettes, not trying to be like a FootJoy or anything like that, which I think is kind of cool. So
Well, and Nike's done this treatment before in the mid 2000s. There was shoes that kind of had this wraparound look to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
our guy
love.
TF Kicks, what Chris rightfully pointed out on this. He's like these styles are all just recycled. Like, yeah, I mean, you could say like Buscemi revived it maybe a little bit. Maybe a little
yeah,
inspo comes from that, but it's definitely not like OG, I would say.
Yeah.
Keith, what
I
are you ranking them?
I like all three. You know, I had a tough time deciding between the Infinity Tour and the Victory Tour. But I do like how detailed the 90 is. Well, the 90 has like the most detail, less, less of that off-white, more of that gold. Great detail on that. That's gonna be my third pick, but I am gonna go with the Infinity Tour as my number one. Um, I kind of like how the swoosh kind of like pops out, how it's like popped. It's not like embedded into the shoe. It's embroidered. Um, it's stitched. It's a nice clean look. Pretty simple with the colorways on this. You know, you kind of just have like three or four different colorways as well. But it was a tough decision, coin flip. But Infinity Tour is my number one. Then my Tour 4 is number two, with the third being the Air Max 90. Like
Ooh, I'm
the
interested in
Tour
Gumby.
4 is just an awesome look. It's got the JT vibe. I do like the wraparound on the toe on the Infinity and on the Tour 4. I like it. It's got the hoop in the back too on the Tour 4 to help you slip it on a little bit better. I like that. Uh,
yeah,
it's just a clean look, and the swoosh just pops on all three. That's something I like on any of our shoes.
yeah. I was saying this to Keith on the course because he was. Were you wearing the tour? Were you
I
wearing the
had
Pro
the
Fours?
I had the Pro 4 white version on
Yeah,
with the black
so the Pro
swoosh.
Fours on. I wore Jordans. I had was wearing some purple, so I wanted to kind of rock the
He went cherries.
the cherry wine
Yeah, that's right.
sixes. But I was saying I really like the major versions of the Pro 4 more than I like the actual version, because the major version had the stitched, like, popped out
Yeah.
swoosh,
Sewn on
whereas
stitch. Yep.
yeah, the regular standard version was screen printed, was just like printed on. So, and I don't like, it didn't feel as like, I like the stitched version. So I like the victory because you get the full swoosh. So that's gonna be my number one. 90 is gonna be my number two because I just think it's super fancy. It gives me vibes of that Players one 2 years ago when we did the pirate theme, right? Like so, I think that would be it's pretty cool that way. And then we'll go the tour for the last one. I think that the pebbled leather here with like the things is nice, but it almost looks messy. You know what I mean? Like there is some. It looks like something like happened to it. I know that it's intentional, but it could be construed as like something else. And Matt, you got to hold these in person and see them in person, so obviously your ranking I feel like is more of the substantial one that we should more weighted, because you can feel them and see them. But I think which we appreciate getting the early access. That was super helpful
Thank you,
for
Nike.
us.
Yep.
Thank you so much for that. And we got to take these awesome shots of them. But I think that's kind of like what I see is like that very like like beat up leather, but I know that it was probably very an intentional like look to that leather as well.
Yeah, I'd say the thing that in person the Victory 2.4 what sells it is that the top half has an ostrich leather look to it. So you get the
Mm,
pebbled leather on the bottom half and then the ostrich at the top. It popped to me like
Yeah.
it just screamed like premium, which already like the Rory shoe is supposed to be like more premium. And then when you got to the Air Max 90, like it felt like a plush couch. Like it had like that puffy look to it, like puffy
Mhm.
upholstery, like something you'd find like in your 80s aunt or grandma might have had. Kind of thing, which I love on a shoe, and I think like the 90 has a lot of like crossover appeal, like off the course. I would say so I now that like we've all had a chance to play basically like you guys have played in the Scotty and the Rory. I know Keith you like the Infinity so you and I have played in all
yeah,
three.
right. Yep.
Where do you guys rank in these three? And here's a great stat from our friends at Soft Spikes. Like everybody in the top 15 was wearing spikes.
Yeah.
Everybody that won majors this year was wearing spikes. Does that affect your opinion of spikeless? So, a two-part question. Do you guys still prefer spikes on your shoes? Rory, Scotty, or Brooks, how would you rank those three shoes to play in from like your favorite?
I will definitely, the answer to number one is I love spikes. I love playing in spikes. There's very rare occasions where I'll go spikeless. If I'm going to a tip-top place, I'll throw the ADG fours on or the fives on, the Jordans, if I'm going somewhere like that. But that's once or twice a year. It's always spikes with me when I'm playing a full 18 around. Um, Tough question, Matt, on what's the my favorite one to wear this year. I've been wearing more of the Pro Fours than I have the Rorys. But like I have the PGA Rorys, and I've worn those a couple times, and they're just like top notch. But if I'm going to play wherever, I've worn the Master Scotties a couple times along with my black and white pair. I've I have all five of the Pro Fours besides the new colorway that came out, recently for the 7-1 release. I think it's like that maroon, that new colorway,
I
the
love those
maroon.
red
Those
bottoms.
I
I like a
know
lot.
that
I
red
those
bottom is
that could have
sick.
gone. Like I almost thought that was like they just like somehow released that because it could have almost gone with the look of these shoes and like just roll with that one as being the Masters
Yeah.
release. No
They have
one
a
would have known the
t-shirt. They have a
difference.
t-shirt that was that
That was
maroon
maroon
color actually,
Yeah.
exactly.
so it would have worked.
So
So,
Your thoughts.
yeah.
Go ahead, Keith. Finish up and then we'll go to
No,
Gumby.
I was just gonna say Scotty's been probably my top shoe so far this year. It's something new with me, guys. You know me. I always like something new, something fresh. Scotty's the way to go. And I've seen a good amount of people wearing, the white pair or the black pair out there. So people are seeing what Scotty's wearing and trying them out. So Scotty's number one for me right now.
yeah, I like the Pro Four. I think I've had some I wouldn't say issues in both of them, but I would say that like they I sized up in everything this year, and just because I thought it was the right thing to do, because in the tour, I had a tour two, and I put it on, and it was like so tight I couldn't wear it right in 13. So then you size up to a 14 in this one, but I feel like everything standard felt wide this year to me. Maybe it's just because I'm in a 14, but
Definitely agree on the Scotty. Yes.
like
Same.
and to me like the tour was is super big. Like I put that on for the first time playing in Maine. I played at a nice country club out there, Falmouth, where Hallie had actually just played the week before for the Drive for Kids, and I was like, whoa, I gotta lock these boys down. They were a little bit like big. They're and I was expecting like them to fit perfectly or tight, because they were 13s were tight. So I just think that they actually like figured out sizing a little bit this year, and things were a little bit wider, a little bit nicer, a little bit more comfy. I think they're both just super comfy rides, like super great. And so I haven't played in the Victory other than last year's Masters one. I haven't played anything this year, but I don't think there was many changes to it. So I still really like that one a lot. But I have that in a 13. I don't have it in a 14. So um, I think I'm gonna go pro this year. I just think that the Masters one, just like man, I love those ones. I wish we got them in the PGA because that red and
Yeah.
blue would have been
Oh
just
yeah,
top.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the pro. I just think it just fits me more. It's got that like athletic, unique look to it. The toe box reminds me so much of a tiger, and I think that's like the coolest thing.
So just to
So
clarify, like, so you haven't played in the Rory four. You didn't get the Rory
no,
four.
I did. Yeah, no, I
Oh,
have.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
that was too big. That was the one I played
Got
in
it. It was too
Falmouth,
big.
and I
I
was
do
like,
notice
wow,
like
I was
Rory
I
likes a
was
loose
not.
heel.
Yeah, and I was not expecting that. So, because the tour two and the tour three were a little bit more tighter, always in that heel cup, and these ones were pretty like wide. So, um, I mean, it was pleasantly surprised that they fit very well. But I did was like, okay, now I can strap them in, lock in instead of just like tying them normally. You could actually like, which was nice. But yeah, I think they've been really cool. Pink has really stood out to me this year. I just think that was like the perfect. But they executed that on every level, right? We had a glove, we had the some other stuff, but you know that's kind of like the coolest part is you can go tip to top, or top to bottom, full look with it, which is cool. And Matt, you completed the whole Infinity Gauntlet, so you must like
I know
that
you got.
deck.
The Infinity so much because I like Zoom. I like energy return.
Yep.
However, these last bunch of rounds, I found myself. I played a lot in the Rory. I love the carbon fiber plate. I do feel it now. Like after 2 3 rounds in, I think both shoes get better.
Yep.
Like you do, there is a break in period.
Yeah.
And not like in a way where like, hey, those first 2 rounds your feet hurt. No, that's not the case. But they do break in and start wearing better. I think with the Rory, I like how classy and tight the walls feel. The way we talked about it in the past, like I love that carbon fiber feel. So like if I was playing like a club where I was gonna wear pants, I like the Rory. The thing about I think they nailed like that Air Max vibe. Like you look down at the Scotties and it looks like an Air Max shoe. Also, the TW vibes are there. It's low to the ground. It's not a free, but it's low to the ground. It is a soft ride. It's not super flexible like a free. So like you can
Yeah,
see
and
where
it's
like
got
they,
that
they
hard
took that
sole.
TW 71 that he was wearing or 17.
Yeah.
And they ripped it apart. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's it. So I feel like it's a worthy successor. I think it looks great with shorts.
Yes.
Again, if I had to pick like right now, my number one, I tell you guys like my only problem with the Infinity is how dirty they get. Like that's, but
Right.
I don't
The
know if that's because I'm
underneath
playing
is
a lot. Like
weird.
it's easier to
Yeah.
wipe down the Scotty.
Yeah.
So
Even
okay,
the
so I'm gonna go with the Rory. You guys are both saying the Scotty. I'll go with the Rory,
yeah.
but
All right.
it's very close. It's minimal.
Yeah.
Also
It's like,
two Scotties and a
and
Rory.
to your
That's
point, like I like playing in something new.
two Scotties and a Rory.
I'll
Sounds
look
like
at
the
that.
majors this year.
Oh,
Three majors.
well, let me tell you my Nike club story, and then we'll
Yes.
Yes.
go into like local rules discussion, and then we'll get out of here. All right, so I'm going on my buddy's trip, and my other friend Kevin, we get to play his club a lot. He goes, "Hey, can your brother take a look at my kids' clubs?" The guys at the store said that there's a weird sound and there might be some loose epoxy or whatever, right? So I pick up his clubs, and I drop off my Nike Vaporfly Pros. So I go, here, I'm gonna be gone for a week. Play these. So I come back from the trip, and he's like, yeah, him and his buddy, they were making fun of the Nikes. They're like, Nike made clubs, like they had no clue what they were. They were like, what is this? And then they played, and all of a sudden they're like, dude, these things are sick.
But
And
yeah.
it's like, see,
Exactly.
it's like that was the difference. So I ended up putting them in the bag, and I played around in them, and man, they're so good. They're so good. But it comes back to, so at we 21 years we're at this tournament. I've been meaning to make this a topic for a while. 21 years. We have guys of all levels. We have guys that work at golf stores. We have, guys that golf 3 times a week. We have guys that this is their only 3 rounds of the year. Yet nobody wants to mix up the tees, right? Like realistically, what should happen is the guys that this is like their only rounds of the year, they should be teed up, and for it to be competitive, other guys should be in the back. We're not doing that. We're all playing hybrids. So in doing so, we've also enacted rules to make the game faster. So like this is my one local rule, and this is what I'd love to see if you guys have anything like this with your buddies. So we have a rule. if your ball is in a backyard and you can see your ball in the backyard, you get a free drop. And the reason being is that if you were on PGA Tour, they would move everything. They'd move a rock in the desert for you. You could go play it out of the yard, no problem. So we do a free drop there. We also don't play like penalty and distance on red stakes. We're like, yo, just go drop up there, right? Like ball got it, just to keep the game moving. Do you guys have any rules like that or anything that you guys play with your buddies?
No, it was actually funny because I was talking to Keith about this, and I was like, if I was the president of golf in the whole thing, white stakes wouldn't exist. Everything would be red because it would just be like drop like from there. Like I ain't going back to the tee, not take it. You know what I mean? Like just take that. So it's actually funny you say that, Matt, because there was on Nuclear Golf. I think he started out as the Tiger Tracker guy, and now he's as like a feels like he tries as a brand or something. But he posted a picture today of relaxed rules of golf. Number one, maximum score is double par. Number two, penalties are one stroke,
Yes.
are all one stroke. Number three, limit ball search to 2 minutes. Number four, improve in unfortunate lies. Number five, conceded putts allowed. Number six, no equipment restrictions. I don't know about that one, but and number seven, use common sense. And I was like, oh, that just sounds like the way that I play golf. Like, I have come to the fact that I am not on the PGA Tour. I have also come to the fact that I'm burning my golf game down, and we'll start fresh next year after the baby. Oh yeah, by the way, having a second kid coming in
Congrats.
October, so
Number two.
that's
Yeah.
it makes no sense for me to go get a lesson right now. Like I ain't playing golf anytime like more after it. I got one more buddy's trip in August that I got canceled earlier this year, and we're redoing it. So maybe 2-3 rounds of golf there. I will play like I did with Keith, and I might hit driver off the deck 5 times. Who knows? But I'm not on the PGA Tour. I'm there to have some fun.
It wasn't that bad. You hit it pretty good.
I know. So like, and I just I had a chance to break 90 on the last hole, and then we said camera adds 2 strokes, so I doubled. But I just think like you know we're just not that good overall. We're not on the PGA Tour. Whatever makes you not quit the game or kill yourself out there, do it so that you feel comfortable. Like I play every Wednesday night, and like we don't play out of bunkers in that league, and because there's shit at the course, and everything is winter rules, so you can just improve your lie on everything. You know what I mean? Like which is wild, but it is what it
Yeah.
is. So you take advantage of it and you play
Is
it.
that because you guys got a lot of goose stuff on the greens?
Yeah, some goose stuff, and then like it's a nice course, but there are like spots that they can't get to. It floods a lot, so sometimes like you're getting mud ball in a dry day, like just so and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then like the bunkers wash out, so they just have never taken care of the bunkers there. So if they if everyone's not playing them, then it's fair. You know what I mean too. So,
Yeah.
So
but
so divots. You guys play out of divots or do you move it?
you can move it. Yeah, yeah.
I move it. I move it.
I think
Sounds
that should be
cool.
a rule
Yeah.
though. That like, there's no way that you should be penalized for a good shot. I think we've said this in the way that major championships are set up, but in regular golf, like your whole entire being is to try and hit a perfect shot. So you could hit a perfect shot where it's 300 yards, dead center fairway. It didn't move, goddamn, 1 yard offline. And then someone else was in that position because maybe they hit into the woods and then pitched out and then took a chunk in. Like that's not a fair assessment of golf when someone else's um, action is affecting your position. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, I agree with you guys on that. Take the ball out of divots should be a rule going forward. Everything. Rule, I gotta eliminate the white stakes if I'm playing with my buddies. I try just me being me. I play in a couple good amount of events like for this Connecticut Amateur Tour here where we have to play by the rules.
Yeah.
So my mind is kind of in that set of playing by the rules when I go out there. But yeah, I'm lenient too. Like if I hit one OB, I'm pretending it's a red stake. I'm dropping it 2 club lengths from where I went out, and I'm hitting three. I'm not hitting three off the tee box. But other than that, I'm trying to think of any other things that me and our buddies do. I always put everything out just the
You
way I am,
do.
but I let my buddies, pick up if they're a couple feet. So it's just
Yeah.
things, just
In the
habits,
weather.
just yeah, just habits, or we're in that mood and stuff. So
Well, we
And
introduced in
I
the
also
weather
am
too.
like, I told him he was good on a couple ones when I played with him, and he would still put it out. But like if he missed it, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, too bad. Like you can't, like, you know what I mean? Like
no,
no,
I
it's
still
it
take.
was
I'll
good.
write it
Like
down. I'll write it down
yeah,
as a five, and it was a par putt. I
but
missed it. I'm yeah,
he played from the tips. I played from one up. Like that was two. Like I'm not gonna feel the
yeah,
pressure to play from the tips and whatnot. Like I'm not good enough to do that. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
knew
in
that
my view
it might
on
help
it,
my game because I need to hit longer stuff in. But like that was it was just him teeing off and then me teeing off. Like no big deal. But they're not that
well,
far
Gumby,
apart
I think
either.
you're like me. Like, I play so much from like blues or whites, like 6,300, 6,400.
Yep.
Like we try to keep it around.
Yep.
But then, like, I go play nice clubs and they want to play tips or they want to play, or their
the
blues are
one
67,
right, one
68.
before one before the tips. Yeah, no, yeah,
Right. So I'm like, oh man, I play blues, but my blues are 400 yards shorter than your blues. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
yeah, to your point, I struggle with long irons. Like that's my thing. So then I'm not hitting greens, and it's tough, man. It's tough. But I think the thing with Keith, like, you're a better player. So even if even if you play by the rules, you're still getting done in four and a quarter.
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's our thing, is
We've
like we're trying to help the guys that are going to shoot 110 get done in four and a quarter, right? Like instead of them like stressing and oh my gosh and all this, and like I'm not there to make anybody four putt, five putt either, right? Because like, I mean, realistically, like out of our eight guys, we have like four guys that have a chance at like the championship, that we do. So we're like, okay, like we're pretty lax on it.
That's what makes your trip. That's what you guys do. That's your rules. That's how you're gonna play. How many your 3 days of golf that day?
yeah.
That's what you're gonna do.
We when I was trying to set up a tour this year, it was the rules were no more than double par, which like I think is appropriate on those type of things. Like it's an 8, it's a 10. Like you get to those situations, like pick it up. I put two in the water. Couldn't hit an iron again, and um, and luckily it was a par three. So then I got away with a 6 on that. And like it was probably bigger than that, but like that's what the rule was. So like
But I have a
cool.
question. But then isn't it for handicap purposes you can't take more than a 7 on four,
Yeah,
so you can't take
I
that.
think it's more of a
Right.
triple. Yeah, I think it's just triple or double. Like I think
So
par
Yeah.
three
it's
goes
like,
down.
do you play by the handicap rule then? Because also like, because then if you enter a score with eights and tens on it,
I think
now you're
I
kind
you
of like
think it's
entering
still
sandbag territory.
no, because it will adjust
yeah,
for you. Gin will
it
adjust
will.
for you. I think you should
Guys,
always put in your full score and let the gin adjust it for you. That's my thought.
I'll close it out here with so like beginning of the year I was playing good, but my handicap was still like 13. And you talked about it, Gumby, where like 13's a good handicap to have, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I said this in the other podcast. I apologize, but I go to that really elite, second most exclusive club, yada yada, and the member goes, "Well, what's your handicap?" I say, "Huh, I'm a dangerous 13." Proceed to just wet the bed and just 100 plus I shot. Like the 13 didn't help me for nothing. Dangerous 13 because
I would
I
like to
didn't want to look
know.
like a sandbagger in case I
Yeah.
won, and instead I just embarrassed myself.
I would like to know how I am when I haven't posted any score below 87 this year. Like I just don't know. Like I mostly have been in like the 90s, and I'm just like, I want to know how I'm at 11. I mean, I was at like an 8 to start the year, so maybe I've just gone up like not like where I was
I
at
know we're gonna
9
get
actually.
messages. We're
But
gonna get messages, isn't it? Because it takes like you're based on your potential, so it takes like your best
yeah,
12 of the
Yeah,
last
yeah, yeah.
20
and
or
where and
something.
like and what yardage you played from, right? Like half of
Yeah,
these were
slope rating.
from the
Yep.
tips
Yep.
in the tournaments that we're playing, which don't fit me. So I'm playing at the highest rated slope and whatnot, or hard courses. I played a couple hard courses this year, so it takes that into consideration. But when I play my normal, like if you saw me on a normal Wednesday, I don't know. Golf's a funny, fickle game. I can't believe the major season is over. Matt, you just touched on it in a reel earlier this year that like we are pretty much done with watching golf, right? We have the playoffs coming up in a couple weeks. I know that my one of my fantasy football drafts is determined. My draft position will be determined by the top 12 players and where they finish in the FedEx Cup, in the
Interesting.
championship, which I think is cool because you can just watch and root for whatever guy you got. So we'll obviously be rooting for our Nikes guys, hoping I get paired with a Nike guy and not someone else, but we'll see. So that's fun coming up, and then Ryder Cup right around the corner. Going to be an interesting decision for Captain Keegan. Will he play
Mhm.
or won't he? Um, I tend to
He
lean
should
that
play.
he. I don't. I'm tend to lean that he's not going to play though. I feel like he takes his captain duties very seriously. So
But
we'll
I
see.
think he's earned it. He won this year. He won
Oh,
this
Yeah.
year. Heartbreaker for Tommy. I'm
I
sorry.
agree,
Uh,
but
I know. 25
I
minutes
agree that
from
he
me, I
should
was
play.
crying.
But Luke Donald did agree to like he can assign other duties, captain duties, to other people. So that's a big win for us. So sets the seeds that he probably will play.
Bring Mike back
Um,
as an assistant captain.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
So, huh? Okay, who?
Bring
Mike?
Michael Jordan back as assistant
MJ.
captain.
I think he has to. I think he has to. So, gonna be a cool one to see there. Happy Gilmore is out on Thursday. Go watch that on Netflix. We get no bump from that, but everyone else is going and doing that, so why not? Follow us on Instagram at the Swoosh Life Podcast. Lots of stuff coming up. Even when we don't have shows, we post a lot on there of unboxings and new things. I think Matt just got new Lucas today, so
European
uh,
exclusive, evidently.
which is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
go over there, check that out, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. I think we're at 100, and if we could get that up to like more, that'd be great. And there's no winner's circle. We did that earlier this year. Great year for it. I think it's cool that Nike did winner's circle stuff. That's the shoes that Rory was actually wearing. And I think that's it, guys. Am I done? We're wrapping it up. I'm
It's a battery. We need to get
is
this
literally
uploaded.
a season
Sorry.
wrap up, so that's what we're doing. But we will be around probably for the Ryder Cup, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully, there's some cool Nike stuff. We'll always have you covered. But any final words, boys? I know Matt's ready to go, but just wanted to make sure. So
Phone's dying. Happy birthday, Pedro. Matt,
yes,
happy birthday.
happy
Thanks,
birthday.
guys. We got one more
Yep,
episode left this season before the Ryder Cup. Adios.
yep. See you in the next one. For Gumby, Matt, Keith. Bye. If you enjoyed today's episode, go follow us at the Swoosh Life Podcast on Instagram, where we have a lot more content. Watch us on YouTube at the Swoosh Life Podcast. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment, and make sure you keep listening to us on all the places that you can find your podcast: Apple, Spotify, and more. We'll see you in the next one. This has been the Swoosh Life Podcast.
Check the silver stripes, yeah, that's what I like, yeah, that's what we like, yeah.